All right, it looks like we are live streaming. Let's double check.
All right, we are live. Let me go live on TikTok. And we are live on TikTok as well. So, oh, 1 second. All right, well, welcome everyone. It is great. Can you, Martina, can you see on your screen if we are live? Are we live? Okay, cool. Well, welcome everyone. Today we're going to talk about various positions in Tarrant County, and we have a lot to cover. Thank you all for being flexible with us. And so today we are actually trying barbecue from a local barbecue shop, and that is called JUBE'S SMOKEHOUSE. And so Alex is currently there, and we can go around and introduce ourselves. My name is Lydia. I'm a Tarrant County organizer. Alex, if you want to go next.
Everybody, Alexander Montalvo, Tarrant County organizer based out of Fort Worth.
Martina.
I was on Facebook trying to say hi and share. So hello, everybody. I'm Martina Van Norden, and I'm a community organizer, education advocate in Fort Worth.
And my name is Misty, and I am community organizer in HEB Hearst specifically.
Well, we're really excited to have everyone on, and so happy that we can be with all of these organizers. And so, as I mentioned, today we are just going to be snacking and trying on food. Trying food, not trying on food, but trying food from JUBE'S SMOKEHOUSE. And so I have a brisket, and this is what I have. I'm trying not to spill it all over my laptop. Alex, what do you have?
I have what they call the Papa Noel. So this is a 3-meat, 3-side dish. So I've got some brisket, sausage, and ribs with some dirty rice, beans, and mac and cheese. And I got to say that my laptop is going to suffer today because this food is delicious and it is on my fingers and it's going to be a messy day. So barbecue sauce on my cheeks may happen. We'll see how it goes.
And Missy, what are you eating?
I already finished. There is no more dirty rice. That is gone. Potato salad, beans, and the S might be spicy beans. Well, I'll check that out in a second. And macaroni and cheese.
And then Martina is unfortunately out of Texas right now. So we did not forget about her. She's just not currently in Texas. It would take quite some time to.
It would take a lot to get barbecue to where I am.
This is the week we get to make Martina jealous. We're doing all kinds of fun things, enjoying all kinds of good things.
I know, but you know what, Alex? It's better to be with you all than to, it works. It's okay. Yeah. It's that community thing. I'll get the food, the drinks, the coffee, the painting. I get all that stuff I missed out on. But I still have my community, and that's what matters most. So I'm good.
Absolutely. Well, we'll have to make a special trip out to JUBE'S Smokehouse because it is some good eating, and they got a great environment here in East Side Fort Worth. And I want to take some time to introduce the owner, the man they call Jube, so that everyone can get to hear from him, as well as get him a chance to talk about his restaurant and what happens here in the Stop 6 community. Hello.
Hi.
Hello. Thank you for having us.
Is it me having you or is it you having me?
Hey, us having each other.
All right, I like it. I like it. I like it.
Well, Jude, tell us a little bit about the restaurant. When did it start and what happens here?
May of 2018, we opened the doors with just ribs, beans, and potato salad, and sold out in about 4 hours. And we've been here ever since. We're heading up like 4 years. We cook everything. Everything here has kind of a Creole background because I am Creole. I actually speak the language, so we do a whole lot of things. We are we've been told as recently as yesterday that we are a staple in Stop 6 for community involvement, community help. We've given 3 scholarships. If you can look right behind Alex's head there, those 3 pictures. If you can see those 3 pictures, those are 3 scholarship recipients. One's at Houston Tillerson, one's at Southwest Christian, and the other is at Spelman in Atlanta. We've given in 3 years over 150 backpacks for kids to go back to school. They're over, I'm just saying over 150. That includes masks and school supplies. We've fed no less than 10 families for Christmas, Thanksgiving over the last 3 years. We feed the homeless on a regular basis. We just got all kinds of stuff going on here. We pride ourselves with being a small spot with a big flavor. So I love to cook, and it's kind of my therapy. So that's kind of what I do.
Yeah.
Kind of what I do. My son is here. The co-owner is here. That's her. That's Tony. And that little rug rat right there is my 17-year-old soon to graduate senior who is aspiring to become district attorney one day.
All right. Congratulations there.
And he is a bona fide certified chef.
That is fantastic. This is right down his alley, Alex. This is what we've been talking about, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Getting young
So
people interested in politics.
Strongly considering Prairie View University. So y'all pray he makes the right decision. So
well, it's definitely exciting to be here, Jube, and just all of the connections that you have with the community and how here in Eastside Fort Worth. I think when I was here the other day, you had mentioned you can't get any further east side than right here.
This is as far east as you can go for the next 2 miles. And then there's a sign that says leaving Fort Worth, entering Arlington. So this is as far east as you can go where Fort Worth is concerned.
Yeah. So there's a lot of changes happening in Eastside Fort Worth and the Stop 6 community. A lot of great organizers and leaders who've been working hard to do the good work for this community so that there's opportunities and economic development. There's support for the students in this area. There's support for families and just the community at large. And so it's also been changing in its demographics. So there's a large amount of Latino community members now in Eastside Fort Worth, where people may associate it with mainly the historic Black community that's been here, who is definitely still here. And so it's just a great opportunity for us to continue to build community and the multicultural aspects that we have within Fort Worth and within Tarrant County. And that's why we're here with all of you today. We want to make sure that we're helping everybody in our community be prepared for the primaries, be prepared for voting as a whole, and be engaged in the process so that we can have the community's voice heard and the values represented in our elected officials that the community wants. And for Tarrant for Change, that's centered around a safe, just, equitable, and inclusive community in Tarrant County. And so we're excited to jump into these candidates with all of you, talk about the primary, and continue to enjoy some of this great barbecue with JUBE'S SMOKEHOUSE and the specialties they have here. If you were to make a recommendation, Jube, when people come here for the first time, is there a dish you'd like to lean them towards?
The Pop Noel.
Papa Noel, you can't go wrong.
The Papa Noel, because it gives you an opportunity to get a multiplicity of what we have, 3 meats, 3 sides, and then for the price and the amount of food you get for that, you know, it's better than you buying a rib plate and then a brisket plate and then a chicken plate. My personal favorite thing is the chicken, and that's because I don't ever cook the same chicken 2 days in a row. It's I have several different recipes I come up with. I have the garlic Creole chicken. I have orange pepper chicken. If you like lemon pepper, I will make you stop eating lemon pepper. Orange pepper. I have just recently created a sweet garlic, which is sweet and spicy at the same time. I have an Italian chicken, a Creole who cooks Italian chicken. I have Italian chicken. So I can eat chicken every day. So if I could, I guess my main thing would be the Papa Noel. And then you can twist it. Sometimes, you know, real brisket sausage, real brisket chicken, or sausage, chicken, ribs, just kind of however you want to do it. My favorite side is the, I'm looking right at it in my head, potato salad, because it's deviled eggs, and then we work it up together, and it's just good. Have you had the potato salad?
I've not had potato salad yet. Looks like I have to get one more thing before I leave.
That's my favorite. That's my favorite too. Yes, thank you. I love it.
While Jube is making some magic happen, let's talk about the primaries. Lydia.
I'm so jealous right now, Alex. I just want you to know. I'm so jealous.
Martina, would it help if we ate everything in slow motion?
You know, I mean, just take your time and just savor the flavor and be like, this is good.
This is good. After it's like a commercial.
Right.
That's funny. Let me.
Right.
Sorry, I am sending the invitation to Leslie. So, all right. So the past couple of days we have been going over kind of state and federal. So now today we are going to go over local positions in Tarrant County. So I just need to, and excuse me, I'm the producer today, so excuse me. This is my first try, so give me.
That's a great thing about being a community organizer. You never know what skills you're going to be able to develop and grow. And so today's Lydia's development is live stream producer in the booth.
Yeah, I'm used to being the performers. So now we can try this behind the scenes. So today we're going to go over non-judicial countywide officials, commissioner's court, justice of the peace, and constable. So let's, and before we get into that, I believe Martina is going to we're going to go over quickly what is on the ballot and what the primary is. So let me share my screen. I'm also not used to having multiple monitors, and so I don't even know why people do this. All right, so can y'all see my screen?
Yes.
Yes, we see it. We see it. And so we are here at JUBE'S Smokehouse, making sure we are getting people prepared for the March 1st election. So these are the primaries where 2022 primary election in which Texas will be voting in new political districts. And that's what's on the ballot. Let me tell you why we're doing it. So the primary election brings Texans together to vote for the candidates that they want for their particular parties. If you are let me see. Okay, if you are able to If you have registered already, that's what I was trying to say. That was the word I was looking for. If you have registered already, you are able to vote in the primaries. If you have not registered already, you will be able to go ahead and vote in future elections. Unfortunately, the March 1st election, you will not be able to participate in. If you are already registered to vote, you can also participate in early voting, which happens on February 14th through to February 25th. If you don't vote between those days, then you will have to vote March 1st at your voting location. So we had a day off, and I kind of had gotten the flow of our script, Lydia. So that one day off kind of, maybe had said, wait a minute, I got to remember it again.
Yeah.
And you can zoom in on your window if you want to increase it. In Chrome, there you go. There you go. I think that might help Martina too.
Yeah, that's Alex's way of saying sometimes I can't see.
Tell me when they scroll down.
So Republicans and what's on my ballot? Republicans and Democrats will choose their candidates to face off in November. So once again, it's based on its district-based congressional and legislative offices, the State Board of Education, and the judicial seats. Those are the areas in which we will be voting for as Texans.
Oh yeah, that's me that needs to scroll down, huh?
Yeah, it's all right. It's all right. We're working it out.
You can keep going, Lydia. All right.
So once again, these are the dates that you need to know. If January 31st, you didn't register, it's okay. Still go and register so that you can vote in future elections. Also, to register to vote, you can fill that out and submit a paper voter registration application at least 30 days before the election. You can request a postage page application through the mail or find one at your county voter registrar's office. You can also go on to this website, the texastribune.org, and this site will be in the chat for you to click on so that you can also go here and download your application. The last day, now this is what applies to people like me who are not in Texas right now. The last day, or people who cannot physically get to their voting location, you can request a ballot by mail. That ballot by mail has the application deadline of February 18th. Once you receive that mail-in ballot, it has to be returned to the county by March 1st. Give yourself as much leeway as possible if you're looking to vote by mail. You'll need to budget time for it to take your county to get your ballot to you in the mail after you apply.
All we have to do is sign the paperwork, and I feel like with the seller.
I think, oh, there we go. All right.
All right. I was like, all we have to do is sign the paperwork. Okay.
It actually worked though. We really.
So the important part is to remember that the deadline for mail-in ballots to be returned to the county is election day, which is March 1st. If they're postmarked by 7 p.m. that day, they'll be counted if they're received by the county by 5 p.m. March 3rd. So it's important to know when to get those mail-in ballots in. Early voting, we talked about, different reasons why, we early vote. Sometimes you just can't get there on March 1st, but you can go on February 14th through the 25th and cast your vote early at any polling location in the county where they are registering, where they are registered to vote. Check your county elections office's website for early voting locations. Anyone who is registered to vote may vote early, but it must be done in person unless you qualify for that vote by mail. Something to remember on March 1st, and the difference between March 1st and early voting is those polling locations. They are not always the same on election day as they are during early voting. So what you want to do is check the open polling locations in your area before you head to cast your ballot. In some counties, election day voting may be restricted to locations in your designated precinct. Other counties allow voters to cast their ballot at any polling place on election day.
So this Texas Tribune link has been added in our comments. It's a great resource for people to use. It has so much great additional information about what kind of IDs are needed to be able to vote and what you want to bring. The key thing is that we want people to have a plan to vote. By having a plan to vote, you're prepared and you don't get surprised by anything that you'll need to have and who's on the ballot and what you need to bring. And so definitely check out this tool from Texas Tribune. It's a great resource, as well as the other resources we'll be highlighting through this broadcast. So excellent information. Thanks so much, Martina.
Oh, my pleasure.
Okay, well, let me just set it back.
Away for a minute.
Let me set it back up for TikTok. Oh, sorry. I don't have my normal device, so. All right, so now, how's everyone's food? I haven't been able to try it yet.
Do we need to pause for you to take a bite?
It's,
I've already finished my mac and cheese.
Huh?
I've already finished my mac and cheese. I'm almost done with this dirty rice. This food is too delicious.
Yeah, I think for me, I'm not used to dual monitors, so I'm like, what's going on here? There's so much happening. I also don't like too how your mouse has to go. Anyways, so yeah, because I have brisket and rib, and so I have been eating the brisket, and it's really good. I really like it. So Martina, I'll eat it in slow motion for you.
Right.
I would eat it with my hands, but I'm also having to work equipment. Okay.
So I think we're going to share some of this information about the roles that we have from our Instagram slides. And so if you're not following Tarrant for Change on Instagram, we highly encourage you to do that. We've been posting information last week on all these different roles and giving you some insight about what these roles do for our community, as well as who's running. But before we start talking about who's running, we just want to highlight what are the positions, what are some quick facts, and what is it they do. And so we'll pull that up so that everyone can kind of start seeing that.
All right, so can y'all see it?
Yes.
All right, so first we are going to start out with Commissioner's Court. So the Commissioner's Court, who is running in the 2022 primaries? So we have one county judge who's up for re-election. It's a 4-year term, and the elected position is currently held by Republicans. And then we have 4 total commissioners. However, only 2 are up for re-election this year. And so 2 elected positions are held by Democrats and 2 elected positions are held by Republicans. So what is the job of the county judge? Presiding officer of the Commissioner's Court, made up of the county judge and 4 commissioners. So not to be confused, the Commissioner's Court is made up of the county judge and the 4 commissioners in Tarrant County. The governing body of the county, it is not a judicial court. The term is 4 years. So some of their duties are builds and maintains the county's road and bridges, sets county tax rates and approves the county budget, manages all county facilities, builds, maintains, and improves county facilities, including jails, provides for hospitals, public welfare, and veterans assistance, establishes voting precincts, and appoints precinct judges, and appoints county officials, hires personnel, manages county contracts and payments. So that is the commissioner's court, which includes the county judge and the commissioner. Oh, haha, just kidding. So what is the job of the county commissioners? So there are 5 members of the commissioner's court, which is the governing body of the county, not a judicial court. The term is 4 years, yeah, it's very similar. So once again, votes and maintains the county's roads and bridges, sets county tax rates and approves the county budget, manages all county facilities, provides for hospitals, public welfare and veterans assistance, establishes voting precincts and appoints precinct judges, appoints county officials, hires personnel, manages county contracts and payments. So that is the commissioner's court.
So if anyone hasn't participated in engaging the Tarrant County Commissioner's Court, they meet pretty regularly. You can actually also engage and call in, and they'll call you if you want to make public comments, which is not something that's available for the various levels of government all the time. Like, it's not always available, for example, at school board meetings. But I think the city councils are starting to do that as well. But it's really fascinating that you have 5 people that make up the commissioner's court, with the county judge and 4 of the commissioners, that have so much influence over the size of a county like Tarrant County. Remember, Fort Worth is within Tarrant County, but there's multiple municipalities and there's multiple areas, and I should have double checked, but I think Tarrant County population is close to 2 million, if I'm remembering correctly. So there's a lot of people that these 5 people have a lot of influence over in terms of distribution of funds and the coordination of a lot of key components within our county. And so we definitely want to make sure that they have that lens of a safe, just, equitable, and inclusive community in Tarrant County, because if they don't, then it really negatively impacts a lot of our communities. And usually when they don't, it impacts our diverse communities, our BIPOC communities, Black, Latino, Asian, Indigenous. And so this is an important opportunity for people to really get up to speed on these particular roles.
Yeah, and their meetings are on 11 a.m. on Tuesdays. And so if you want to call in, I believe to call in to talk to them, you have to have it before Monday at 11 a.m. or 12 a.m., one of those. But you can go sign up in person to go talk to them until 10 a.m. on that Tuesday.
That's very interesting that it's when people are working that they have their meeting. It just seems interesting. Because I like how some of the cities have theirs in the evenings, and it appears that, people that work 8 to 5 can attend those. But if you're maybe a retired person, you could, but just interesting.
Yeah,
I was actually, as we were going over like what the role of the commissioner's court is, it just is such a privilege. It's a right to vote, but also a privilege in a democracy, that we have our voice and have the ability to impact it. So to be marginalized and not be able to know all of this information is where we're stepping in and being a part. But just the idea here that those roles and responsibilities are so important, and they need to have the voice of our community informing their decisions. So I think that's an important point to just highlight, given the impact of these positions.
Yeah, it's, and there's a lot, like ISAT of Tarrant, even with everything going on with COVID, a lot of people were going to these county commissioner court, but then sometimes it's not accessible, as even Misty and you, Martina, mentioned. And it's hard because we need people to show up, but it's such an inconvenient time, right? And then it also, yeah, I mean, as you guys mentioned.
Like I would have to take, PTO time just to attend, you know.
Yeah. Okay, so next up is the non-judicial countywide officials. And that includes the criminal district attorney and the county clerk and the district clerk. So the hard thing about eating is, yeah. So we have one criminal district attorney and one county clerk and one district clerk, and they're all up for re-election, and it's all held by Republicans, and it's all a 4-year term. So let's go into what their positions are. So criminal district attorney, it oversees criminal investigations and prosecutions. The term is 4 years. They prosecute criminal cases in district criminal courts, investigates and prepare misdemeanor and felony cases for trial, provides legal counsel to county officials and represents the county in civil matters, assists family violence victims with protective orders, represents the state in mental health commitments. Note, the criminal law deals with behavior that is an offense against the public, society, or the state, even if the victim is an individual. And then also another note is civil law deals with behavior that injures an individual or other private property, such as a corporation. So that's what the criminal district attorney does. And the job of the county clerk oversees county legal records. So the term is 4 years and is responsible for county vital records such as birth, marriage, and death certificates, property deeds, oil and gas leases, and provides attorney and powers of attorney, and provides administrative support for county courts, maintaining records for criminal, civil, and probate cases, and then collects county fines and fees, manages cash bonds and funds for minor and guardianships. So that's the county clerk. The district clerk manages business operations for elected courts, associate judges, and magistrates. Okay, term is 4 years, manages records and money for court fees and fines collected, produces court documents such as civil citations and criminal warrants. So I know that was a lot. That's why you can go back and look at this Instagram anytime. And also all of this information is on Tarrant Votes, which we'll go over more in a bit. So that's the non-judicial county-wide officials.
Yeah, just such key important roles in terms of managing the operations and the flow in the judicial courts. I think district attorney is so key in terms of what kind of cases get pursued. What kind of work is pursued within Tarrant County. And once again, that has a huge impact on that safe, just, equitable, and inclusive community based on what kind of things are being prioritized. And so each of these roles just play such a huge part in the way Tarrant County residents will navigate these systems.
Yeah. Well, next we have Justice of the Peace. Does anyone else want to read Justice of the Peace?
I'll try.
All right.
So the Justice of the Peace, there are 8 elected positions that are in Tarrant County in and of itself. At this time, 5 are held by Republicans and 3 by Democrats. And the 8 elected positions are up for re-election, and it is a 4-year term as well. 3 elected positions have no Democrats running. 2 elected positions have no Republicans running. And so that's a little bit on who is running in the 2022 primaries. And this is Justice of the Peace. This is what their job entitles. They basically trial court judge for civil cases under $10,000 and misdemeanor criminal cases. And as I was saying earlier, their term is 4 years. They handle small claims, tenant and eviction cases, debt claims, traffic tickets, and other citations. And they also officiate weddings. Oh, that's cool. I didn't know that. I mean, I kind of knew that, but I didn't know it all the way.
Yeah, Misty, if you want to continue, next up is constable. In the constable, some quick facts. There's 8 elected positions in Tarrant County as well. 4 are currently held by Republicans, as well as 4 by Democrats. There's 1 elected position up for re-election, and there is no Democrat running. And this is what they do. This is what their job consists of. Constables are officers of the court. They provide fair and impartial notification to citizens of court actions that may involve them. And their term is 4 years. They execute and return all process, warrants, summons, and judgment enforcement documents. They may serve documents for state, county, and justice courts of Texas, as well as those issued by lawful courts in other states. Upon lawful order of the court, they may seize and sell property, returning the proceeds according to law. Constables are licensed peace officers and may arrest with or without a warrant violators of state penal, did I say that right? Penal laws and persons who commit offenses in their presence. That's why I try and drive, when I see officers, I try and drive well, as well as constables. I drive well, I just try and drive better.
I don't know, we got it the first time, Misty. We know exactly what you mean.
My daughter says I drive so slow. I did get a speeding ticket one time. Yes, but my daughter says I drive so slow. I automatically go over to the slow lane because I'm one of those people that you're probably honking at, like, go faster.
I'm gonna start yelling at cars. Misty, what are you doing here?
Get out of the way, Misty.
Yeah, there's just so many roles that I think a lot of us are not as familiar with as we probably would want to be familiar with. We're actually electing these people. We're choosing who's going to represent us in these roles, and so that's why it's so important for us just to start learning and understanding how they impact our communities. And just a huge shout out to TarrantVotes.com, because we're pulling this information about these different roles and these different jobs from TarrantVotes.com. So if you haven't visited TarrantVotes.com before, definitely want you to check it out. Included on their website, they also include information on how much these roles get paid. And I think we may get ready to shock a few people in terms of seeing the salaries of some of these roles. I think if y'all remember when we talked about Texas State Legislature, the 150 House representatives that make up the Texas House only get $7,000 in salary. Starting off at the top with a county judge, that's a $198,000 salary.
Oh my gosh.
That's a lot of resources. And we usually don't get a lot of people running for county judge. I think on our first day, we talked about U.S. House of Representatives get 174,000. And a lot of people run for Congress because, it does have a salary which a lot of these other roles don't, but county judge is another one of those roles that has a 6-figure salary. And so $198,000 is the maximum salary for them. And Lydia, let's kind of take a tour of some of these other roles and see what their salaries are. And I think this is just such a key thing TarrantVotes.com provides. I want to try to see if Lydia will also spill all the beans and barbecue sauce on her computer.
He was like, Lydia, can you?
If the live stream shuts down, we know it's the computer has been damaged permanently. District clerk, another key role, $190,000 annual salary. And I think a lot of these positions have a lot of responsibility and they have a lot of impact in our community. So compensation, is something that's important. Recently the mayor of Fort Worth and city council, are going to put a ballot measure on to increase their salaries, so that, when people are representing the city, that they have a better salary, and it allows more people to run for that role because it doesn't require so much independent income. And so this helps us hopefully get more diversity in these roles, but first we have to learn about them. And I think that's key, that people don't maybe not have all that information. So
And
county
Alex, I
clerk,
think that is such, I mean, when you're talking about equity, this is where you get to the root of the issue. Because if you've had marginalized and disenfranchised communities for periods of time, or that particular area has not been empowered or resourced since Reconstruction, you are literally sitting here looking at how they're kept out because you can't get in. You cannot just say, okay, well, I'm gonna go with no employment, no money, no revenue, and give my time and everything to community service, but without compensation for a job such as the ones that we're looking at. The only way that you can take those positions, it would just be obvious, is that you have some kind of generational wealth or some kind of resource that is funding you and backing you. So it's important for people to see how this stuff really comes together, and how what we're doing right now is investing in giving people information so that we can fix that. That is so, so important.
absolutely. And this is a case where we need Tarrant County folks working together, right? We need everyone across Tarrant County. A lot of times, people are siloed because they're in Fort Worth, or they're in HEB, or they're in Arlington or Mansfield. But this is where we all contribute. We all contribute to who gets elected in these roles. And so working together to get the representation the multiple communities we have need is so important. I think there's a couple roles, Lydia, just maybe a couple more. We want to look at the salary, and then we'll move on from that.
Yeah. We also did county constable.
County constable, 127,000. I think the first time I learned about this role, I was shocked, because I just did not picture a constable getting paid this much. And so this was definitely an eye opener for me.
127,000. I'd be having a good time if I got paid 80,000, 70,000.
And then I think county commissioner and justice of the peace may be the last two ones that we have, right? Or no, there may be more.
So I'm actually,
188,000.
I'm
Go ahead.
trying to figure out how much these salaries are triple and double my salary. I haven't figured it out yet, but
Yeah.
they pretty much are.
And I mean, definitely, I think these roles are important, right? But when we talk about like roles like teachers and public education, now how important are those roles in our community? And we hear from a lot of educators, the salary is definitely not where it should be based on the amount of work and the expenses with that role, and the support that they need. And so
Did you go over county commissioner, 188,000? Oh, cool. Sorry.
188.
And then justice of the peace is 138,000.
So definitely encourage folks, check out tarrantvotes.com. They got a lot of great information and resources. And the information they have is just so insightful for everyone.
Yeah, and I mean, how do they get paid? Right? So just remember that, am I correct on that? They get paid with our tax dollars and all of that stuff, right?
Absolutely. It's with our tax dollars. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So they're making a lot of money. And for, that's why one part of the reason too, why we have to vote, right? And then it's also, as we mentioned in our other live streams, when we have positions that are going unopposed, then right, we don't get the say. The people don't get the say between Republican and Democrat, unless the third party comes in and stuff. But yeah, I mean, so that's why voting, because 138,000 is, that's a good amount. And then the county judge was 199.
And you know how, I'm just thinking about, once again, young people and how we have to expose them to certain careers and opportunities. I mean, who can really say, right, that in any classroom, whether you took social studies, history, American government, local government, whatever, that someone said, consider being a county commissioner, consider being a county court judge. Like, those are not things that people talk about. They'll say something like, oh, lawyer, doctor, or something general in that way. But the specifics of, oh, this is a goal. So that's why I loved, in the beginning of this, at the very start, when Jube said his son wanted to be a district attorney, like, that was so impressive, because he's already been exposed to some kind of position of leadership like that. And looking at this, how important that is, to have people who are committed to, equity and inclusive communities. So this is an eye opener when you're looking at it. And we're organizers, so it's like, wow, I never even knew some of this stuff. So
yeah, and it's not easy, as we mentioned, right, to come by this stuff. And so thankfully, resources like Tarrant Votes,
yes,
and other organizations, even the Texas Tribune has articles on who's running and stuff. So that's helpful, but it should be easier.
Absolutely.
I just wanted to, you were talking about how important it is to vote. And I'm just so excited and glad that I'm a product of, my grandparents on my mother and my dad's side that marched with Dr. Martin Luther King. And my parents did sit-ins and in theaters and in restaurants. And I really, oh my gosh, I'm getting emotional. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
No, don't
Do not be sorry. This is why.
I'm sorry. Anytime I go to I don't go to restaurants for right now, but anytime I go to a restaurant, anytime I'm in a classroom, in church, when I would go to church, just worshiping, or the ability to buy a home, even the ability to rent somewhere. I really count these things. I don't look at them lightly. And so therefore, when I turned 18, that was the first thing I did. I registered to vote. And you guys know I recently moved from Bedford to Hearst. First thing I did was I changed my voter registration over, and everything. And so I truly, whenever I vote, I really, I count it an honor and I feel that I'm representing my family correctly, and that, you know, my dad has passed away, but I know that I feel that he looks upon me when I vote, and I think he's very honored by that. And I mean, in every I remember getting that little record. They give you a record and they say you voted in all these things, and I'm like, yes, you bet your bippy I did. And so I think that this is a wonderful and great thing. But I think it really does take, like you're saying, the education, because sometimes the dates, I've had a couple of dates kind of get away from me a time or two, but you do have to kind of like be on top of it, put it in your planner. Like Alex is saying, have a plan, have a backup plan to your plan, you know, in case you're not able to vote on that particular day that you are trying. Well, if you're early voting, you know, but because that's what I do. I try to early vote, and then if I didn't get to vote that time, I'm like, okay, so what, you know, when are we doing this? You know, remember, it closes this certain date. So, or otherwise you go on, you know, March 1st in this instance, or whatever it may be. But I mean, so I just wanted to say how much I really just want to encourage other people and young people as well, that there's a lot of people, for all of us as people of color, that have really done a lot for us to be able to have a lot of the rights and that we have today, including voting.
So beautiful, Misty. Just thank you so much for just sharing your story, and just it means a lot. It does. It means so much. And I think the more we can build relationships with each other in our communities, the more we can support each other in various ways and talk about these things, then the more people will want to engage in their local elections, engage in who's representing them, engage in how they can, you know, support their community in various ways. And that's what Tarrant for Change is wanting to do. We want to support community organizers across the board. So whatever organization you're with, if you're working towards that safe, just, equitable, and inclusive community throughout, you know, your community and throughout Tarrant County, then we want to help support your work and help uplift your work and everything. So definitely reach out to us. It's a lot of roles that we share, so we'll take a little break to maybe check in on how everyone's food is doing. We know we've seen Lydia have to balance producing and eating. You know, I don't know if my face is getting droopy, because I'm definitely getting to that moment where I'm full and I keep nibbling. I can't stop. So how's everyone's food doing from JUBE'S Smokehouse?
It's good. Mine has gotten a little bit cold, but I don't know the flavor. I'm just rocking with it. It tastes really good.
3 of my sides are gone and have been completed so far. So the brisket's gone too, and the sausage is getting close to being gone. So
Alex, did you taste the potato salad?
oh yeah, I got a whole thing of potato salad and finished that up real quick. As soon as Jude said deviled eggs and everything, and he brought it my way, I had to take care of it.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
The potato salad was my favorite, because it's gone. And the dirty rice was awesome, because it has a little kick to it, but not too much, you know. And so that I really like that dirty rice. And I love the beans too, because the beans have like a really nice good like a smoky, but like a sweet, like a little sweetness to it too. That's like perfect.
Fantastic.
And I'm kind of full, you guys. So I haven't munched too much on the mac and cheese. I'm sorry. So, but I did have 4 sides, but so I'm
totally understandable. Plenty for later. Well, you may not know, but JUBE'S Smokehouse has a special celebrity that comes around from time to time, and so we want to take a quick moment to let this special guest come onto the screen with us and share their stories, and it's a great character that all get to enjoy from time to time. You can follow JUBE'S Smokehouse on Instagram and sometimes on Facebook. They'll make an introduction. Introduce yourself to everyone.
They call me Judy Faye. And what they call me.
I come around here, I represent everybody who got complaints. And most times when I'm here, ain't no legitimate complaints. They just be around here wanting something for free. And so when you see me with the hat on, I'm around here. And I'm gonna tell you a story that happened. And this is a true story, you understand me? I come up in here, me and my daughter, and I jumped on Mr. Jube. I told him this chicken my daughter brought me was the worst chicken I ever had in my life. You don't never need to sell this chicken to nobody else. He was so nice to me. He said, well, how can I help you? I said, can you replace it? So he agreed to replace my chicken. And my daughter, she was on her cellular phone, and she said, Mama, you need to apologize to Mr. Jube. I said, for what? That chicken you fussing about, I didn't even buy that chicken from you. I said, you didn't? No, that chicken came from somewhere else. So I looked up at Mr. Jube and I said to him, you still gonna replace my chicken? And he did. He's so nice, but I'm Judy Faith. Anytime you see me with the hat on, it's trouble. It's trouble. It's some stuff that went on that somebody didn't have no business letting go on. Now, you admit, now, I ain't got my glasses on. I can't find my big red one. I got some great big old red glasses of what I put on. So I can't see nobody, so they can't accuse me of looking at nothing. But anytime you see me with this, I don't know if this is sombrero or this is sun hat, it's something, but I kind of look like Yosemite Sam right now, but I have my hat on. When the hat is out, Judy Faith is somewhere close by. So you tell them, y'all tell her, all to the 3 or 4 of y'all done met Judy Faith. Amen.
Amen.
I created this character simply, you know, for fun, because we do have people who come in here with some legitimate complaints, and if the complaints are legitimate, I fix them. I fix them as best as I can. If they can't be fixed, then I refund them their money and I'll take the loss. But then we do have some people who come in and they honestly want something for nothing. And I've got several stories. Like the lady came in, she ordered a pound of brisket. She called back. She said the brisket was salty. I said, well, baby, bring me back the brisket. I'll cut you another pound. Now, I want you to get in your mind how much a pound of brisket is. That's a pretty good amount of brisket. You're talking maybe, you know, 7, 8, 9, 10 slices, depending on how tender the brisket is. If it's tender, it's got to be wider. But if it's not just, you know, melt in your mouth tender, you can get maybe 10 slices. So when she returned, she came back, she had 3 pieces of brisket. I said, now, baby, you told me you bought a pound. She said, I did. I bought a pound. I said, well, where the rest of it? Oh, I gave it to my grandchildren. I say, so if it's too salty for you, you figure you just run up your grandchildren blood pressure, huh? So I cut her 3 more slices. I sit on by her business. And she was mad at me because she thought I was supposed to let her eat 3/4 pound and then get another pound for free. But that's the nature of you know, entrepreneurship. People will always come in and I've coined this word. They have a case of need more. Need more. Say it with me. Need more. They need more than they're willing to pay for. And that's usually the case in a whole lot of places. So if you follow me on Facebook or Google and Twitter and all of that, TikTok, what's that other thing? Instagram. And if you see a picture of me with this hat on, y'all know we having a Judy Faith moment. And people, I have people all across the country. I have a lady in London, England, who watches just to see Judy's face. So when you see this great big old hat on, yeah. So yeah, and I usually had a hat on and a great big old pair of red sunshades. They're about that big. They look really horrible. Nothing fancy about it, you know. So it's meant to be silly, but you know, I'm a fella of 1,000 characters, 1,000 different voices. You just never know who's gonna show up around here. I got a lot of things to do around here. Yeah, so that's me. So if y'all look at her, she laughing. she laughing. You know, I speak Creole. La pat mar, hey, you over there. You know, all kind of things like that. So, but I'm loads of fun. If you come around here and I'm not laughing, chances are I'm not here. Yeah. So, but that's it. Y'all got any questions for me about anything? So,
Yeah, let's check in with Misty and Martina. You guys got any questions for Jude while we've got him?
Yeah, I was kind of wondering what his inspiration was behind creating his restaurant.
I honestly got drugged into this kicking and screaming. Tony, my fiance, watched me cook in my backyard for years. Every weekend, people would come and they would order food. They would sit in the backyard. They'd drink their beer, and we just have fun. It was just something I was doing to make a little money on the side. And we stumbled into this location. And I do mean literally stumbled into this location. I was not looking to be in the restaurant business. So as chance would have it, I got laid off from one job. So that was no problem. I took another one. And my doctor, Dr. Mohan Jangani, he said, you got a bad back. It's no good, no good, no good. You no can work. And I'm, what you mean I can't work? They said, your back is out of order. So I spent like 2-3 weeks at home figuring out what in the world I'm going to do, you know, for income. We stumbled into this building and the guy lowered the price on the building and pretty much forced us in. He said to me, I don't know who you are, but God told me to let you have my building. I said, did God tell you how I'm supposed to pay for it? You know, since God is in the talking business, if he told you to let me have it, you probably ought to take him at his word. Just let me have it, you know, just let me have it. So he lowered the price substantially and we stumbled up into it. You know, the job Tony was working at the time owed her $10,000. They decided to pay her. So we wound up here. So. Yeah, so that's how we wound up in here. So, and I told you it's therapeutic for me. As long as I'm cooking, I'm in a good mood.
Well, I love the cleverness of how you deal with conflict, you know, because in any business, you know, conflict is kind of inevitable. And you said as an entrepreneur, so I just love how you process that and how you try to navigate that space. But I think what's clear for everyone is that JUBE'S Smokehouse is not just here for barbecue, it's here for the community. And whether it's those scholarships, whether it's giving those backpacks to students, or all the other ways building community within this space, we want to encourage everyone. If you're looking for barbecue, stop by Eastside Fort Worth, stop by JUBE'S Smokehouse, and help support a community leader who's not only doing good things with food, but also helping support the community around him. And we were talking the other day, you get some interesting folks walking in sometimes. You never know who you'll run into here.
You never know. You never know from the dreams to the dregs. You just never know. We get the highly educated. We get politicians in here. We get people that you look at and you go, wonder where they came from. You get all kinds. I'm blessed to be flexible enough to communicate with people on any level throughout several walks of life. And I have a mantra about me that says, I can't treat everybody the same, but I can treat everybody right. And what I try to do is treat everybody right. What you need, I may not need. But the one thing you're gonna get every time you come here You're gonna get a friendly face. You're gonna get a smile. I'm gonna talk bad about you. I'm going to talk bad about you. So if you come in here and I don't say something bad about you to make you laugh, I probably don't like you. I probably don't like you. I'm going to recognize my customers by their cars. And then I know some husbands, wives, and their children. I know the whole family. You know, you come in here, you hit that door, that, hey, there's Alex. What you want today? You know, and that's how we're gonna get along. Y'all come in here, what's it, Martina? She come in, hey, Martina, what you want? You know, and Mr. Jube, I want so and so, so and so. And then there are days, y'all, I really feel like Joe the bartender. I feel like Joe the bartender because people have told me so much of their personal life. One of my favorite things, and I try not to tear up every time I tell this story. A father and his daughter came in and he was really distraught. And so I said, okay, hey, what's going on? He says they diagnosed my wife with cancer. I said, okay. He says they're giving her about 2 weeks to live. I said, okay. And he says to me, man, you really nonchalant about what I just told you about my wife. And I called him up close to me and I said to him, if she can have it, God can heal it. And he looked at me and he goes, man, who are you? I said, man, where's your wife? He says, she's out in the truck. I said, you mind if I go out and pray with her? He says, you pray? I said, sir, I just look like this. And I went out and I prayed with that lady. And I told him, I asked him, I said, when she go to the doctor again? He said, Monday. I said, when she goes that Monday, she won't have cancer. And he looked at me, he says, man, listen, don't get me excited. I said, okay, I just told you what I told you. He showed up here Tuesday with his wife and his daughter. They could not find the cancer. That was maybe 2 months after I opened up here. That lady just died.
Wow.
And it was not from cancer. Okay, so I love people. Obviously, I love people. If you tell me you got an issue and you say, Jude, pray, I'm not praying when I get home. Alex, you told me to pray right now. Guess when we're gonna pray? Right now. And I'm gonna believe God for your situation as much as you believe for your situation as well. What are you looking for, son? Okay, so that's how it works.
District attorney. That's the district attorney.
That's the DA.
That's the district attorney. Yeah, that's the DA.
That's the DA.
Right.
He told me, sit down one day with me, and he said, Daddy. I said, yes, son. I come across something. I said, what you want? He said, I don't want to barbecue the rest of my life. I said, me either. He said, I'm going to school, and I'm not quitting until I'm the district attorney. It's fine with me. When you get all your district attorneyness about yourself, that's when I'm gonna retire from cooking. And I'm gonna sit down and I'm gonna enjoy all the money I spent on you.
Yeah.
Yeah, so yeah.
It's an amazing goal for him to have. And when we were reflecting on that, for someone so young to know this already, to have that goal, it's hugely inspiring. And I think just the fact that your restaurant exists, the fact that you relate with your customers and the community as much as you do, this is why we want to highlight community in the work that we do. You know, there's a lot of spaces that people can go get barbecue or go get food, and a lot of places where it's just purely transactional. I give you money, you give me this food, and that's it. But the thing that we want to highlight for folks is the opportunity to truly support community. And by supporting the community members that are not only having their own business but trying to engage the community as much as possible, we want to help empower and elevate them in the conversation so that we can keep having that within our communities. It's so important.
My question for you, Alex.
Yeah.
This is your second time in there, right?
Second time in here, yeah.
Second time. You feel the same way today as you felt the first time?
Oh, I feel even better.
And that is what I'm striving for. I've never met these three ladies in person. Okay, but I hope that when they come in here, they come and experience the same thing in-house as you've experienced on the camera.
Absolutely.
If I could coin a phrase, we're more than smoke, we're a family. And you'd be surprised how many people come in here that starts off with Alex, he comes by himself. Then the next time he brings the wife. Then the next time he brings kids. You got kids?
Two
You got
kids.
two? That's all? That's all you got. You got to get some more babies. You know, and that's it. People sit here, you're at the family table.
Yeah.
People come here, and we've had a situation. I'm telling you this last story, and then I'm getting out of here. It was a funeral, and there was a huge family. They were getting ready to drive back to Tyler, Texas, and they said, "We're starving. We don't know anything about Fort Worth." They put in a call to a guy who calls me uncle. I mean, Theo. He lives in Tyler. He says, "Go see my uncle. Tell him I sent you." They pulled up. It was 28 of them. I was getting ready to close because I had somewhere else to be. I canceled where I was supposed to be. I made them a deal on the rest of the food. I put every chair, every table I had out in the parking lot, and they ate. People passed by and took pictures. And the senior lady in the group wrote a 5-star review. And she started it off with tears in my eyes. I'm writing this review not about just the food, but about how he treated us. He made us feel as if we were the most important people on the planet. And that's just not something I do, it's who I am. There are 200, 300 other barbecue places in this city, in the Metroplex. You don't have to come to the smallest one. So if you're gonna come to the smallest one, I have to work twice as hard, sometimes to make half as much. So I'm gonna give you my best service, my best seasoning, my best smoke, my best sweetness, everything. So you remember that the first time, and the next time you come, I'm gonna give it to you just like that, even better.
Awesome.
Even better.
Awesome. And it's obvious, that's definitely, I'll be coming back with my family, my kids, and I will be coming many times over. So we want to encourage everyone out there. You want barbecue this weekend, or you want barbecue sometime soon? Stop by JUBE'S Smokehouse.
As
I am
soon
looking
as I
at
get back.
all of those names.
Martina, I'm telling you right now, you can remember the name, and I will be there as soon as I get back. As soon as I get back.
Man, from where?
I am in Maryland right now. I live in Fort Worth, but I'm out of town. So I'm still, but I'm not leaving
I have an aunt who lives in Maryland.
Oh, really?
She lives in Ellicott City.
Oh, that's close by. That's actually, I'm literally 5 minutes from there.
Oh, she lives in Ellicott. When she first moved there, she moved to Silver Springs.
Yep.
And then she moved from Silver Springs to Ellicott City. She don't want to come back to the South. She don't want to come back here no more. Never
the barbecue is calling me back. The barbecue is calling me back.
Yeah, so soon as you get here, you come see me. Come see me now. And then there's Misty.
Misty, yep.
Misty, yes, sir.
Misty Clemons.
Misty Anders Clemens, yes.
How you coming to that?
What?
You coming to that?
Do I do?
How are you?
How am I? I'm doing well.
Good. Are you in Fort Worth?
I live in Hearst.
That's North Fort Worth.
Yeah, kind of, sort of, pretty much.
That's North Fort Worth. So
I think my water is Fort Worth.
Yeah, hopefully I'll be seeing you soon. And then the other one is
Lydia.
Okay,
Yeah,
see, I need my big red glasses because I thought that was an eye. That's Lydia. Nah, Lydia,
Yeah.
why do I know that name?
I came in.
Yeah, she's the one who picked up her phone.
Yeah.
To be fair, I am wearing my hat.
Let me
So
tell y'all something about that baby right there. She stood up at the counter 45 minutes, couldn't figure out what she wanted to eat. That baby, she the one picked up y'all food. So if it's wrong, it's on her. She's just standing up there. She turned her head to the side, then she put it on the back. Then everything. She said, I don't know what I want to eat.
So breaking news for our audience, our live stream started because Lydia couldn't decide on the menu.
That's all right.
I was telling you, actually, I was like, ordering from menu stresses me out.
And she told me, she said, and she stood right over there. She says, ordering from the menu stresses me out. Yeah. Now, which one of y'all got the vegetarian offering?
Oh, well, we got Misty sides.
Yeah, Missy just.
Yeah, just got the side. Okay.
Yeah,
One
me,
last story.
I only eat seafood,
You only eat
fish.
seafood.
Yeah, well, not only, but
So
fish
you're pescatarian, huh?
that is correct. Yes.
All right. I'm about to introduce my pescatarian menu.
Yay! I heard that there was something named Misty on your menu.
Something new in 2022. I'm gonna start smoking fish. I'm gonna start
Awesome.
seafood.
Awesome. I'm so excited. Thank you.
Oh, you're quite welcome. All right. One more story and I'm gone. Funny story. Now, if you don't get this, we're not buddies. The lady said, what you got for my husband? I said, what does he like? Ribs, sausage, ribs? She said, no, he a veterinarian. I said, he a veterinarian? I said, your husband work with animals and stuff? She said, no, Mrs. Jew, he don't eat no meat. He a veterinarian.
At least she was trying. She's trying to accommodate him, right?
Tried,
She's
yeah.
trying.
So I fixed him up. I had some cabbage and green beans that day, but that tickled me. She was so sweet. She was trying to say, of course, vegetarian,
right?
But she called him a veterinarian. So listen, it has been a joy. Glad to have you.
Thank you so much, Drew. It's been a pleasure to be able to be here to live stream to talk about these positions. We got a little bit more. We're going to talk about who's running, and then we will be out of here.
Well, tell them don't run. Tell them take the car. They'll get there quick.
All right.
Y'all be good.
That's funny.
Love it. I'm loving
All
the
right.
community connections, Alex. I'm just loving that part of this process.
That's what we're doing, making community connections with organizers, with organizations, with business owners, artists, musicians. We're here to make those connections. All right, well, I think we're going to run through some of these folks that are running. We'll try to get through these a little quick for you guys, and then we will be on our way.
Yeah, so first we will start with Commissioner's Court. Does anyone want to run through? I can if y'all. I'll do Commissioner's Court if someone wants to think about non-judicial countywide officials. So for who's running for Tarrant County Judge, Democrat is Marvin Sutton and Deborah W. Peoples. For Republican, Robert Trevor Bucher, Brian Bradford, Betsy Price, Kristen Collins, and Tim O'Hare. And then the incumbent is not seeking re-election. And then for the County Commissioner Precinct 2 is Ruby Faye Woolridge, Alicia Simmons for Democrat, and then Andy Nguyen and Jose Riesco. And then for Precinct 4 for Democrat is Cedric C. Kanienda. How do y'all know?
It looks like Kenyinda.
Okay. Sorry if I mispronounce these names. For Republican is Jody Johnson, Larry Dale Carpenter Jr., and Manny Ramirez. So that's it for Commissioner's Court. And then it would help if I had my glasses. And And then for non-traditional countywide officials, does anyone want to do?
I can. Malay Westfall, Matt Krause, and Phil Sorrells as Republican, and as Democrats, Albert John Roberts, Lawrence Larry Myers, and Tiffany D. Burks. In the county clerk positions, the Republican current incumbent is Mary Louise Nicholson, and as the Democrat, Lindsay Fagan. And district clerk, Tom Wilder, the current incumbent, Larry Mike, and Sid Hassan as a Democrat.
All right, and the next we have Justice of the Peace. Misty, do you want to do justice again? Or do
Sorry.
justice?
Ralph Sweargan Jr. is the current incumbent, and there is no Democrat running. And in the Justice of the Peace Precinct 2, Mary Tom Cravens Kernut is incumbent, and Jeka, does that sound right?
Yeah, Jika.
Jeka Williams is the Democrat that's running. Justice of the Peace Precinct 4, Republican Chris Gregory is the current incumbent, and Rodney Lee is running as a Democrat. Justice of the Peace Precinct 5, no Republican running, and Sergio L. Leon is the incumbent as well as a Democrat.
I think that may be a typo on us. I think it's Sergio De Leon is
Sergio.
the one for that last one. That's
Okay.
a little typo on our part.
Oh, sorry, I just accidentally. There we go.
Justice of the Peace Precinct 6, Jason M. Charbonnet, incumbent, and there's no Democrat running in that particular race. Justice of the Peace Precinct 7, Matthew Hayes and Larry Wilshire. The current incumbent is Kenneth D. Sanders as a Democrat. Justice of the Peace Precinct 8, there is no Republican running, and the Democrat that currently holds that position is Lisa R. Woodard, and Stephanie Wilson is running.
So the constable, there's only one in precinct 4 is Jason Scott Bedford and Carolyn Gilmore, and no Democrat is running. So once again, if you want to see more information on who's running, you can visit Tarrant Votes as we've gone through. And, you know, they have information on everyone who is running. You can see their social media, you know, you can see, yeah, social media, email, Facebook, all of it. So it's a really good resource, and that is tarrantvotes.com.
Well, this has been a fantastic live stream with everyone. We've had some good food and a good time. The last thing I'm gonna take a bite into is this pecan pie. So I accidentally threw away my fork. So we're just gonna take a big chunk. Oh, no fork needed for this one. So delicious. So
That's one of my favorites, Alex. So
Wow, way to be rude, Alex. Martina can't
so I'm
have
gonna be
it
feeling
right.
good on the drive home. And definitely we'll be looking forward to talking to everybody the next couple of days as we talk about the different judges. There's 2 days worth of talking about judges in Tarrant County because there are a lot of positions. And so we're going to walk through those and all the different ways that they cover different cases. And so join us. We'll be promoting that so that everyone can have that information, and definitely please share with folks so that they have this resource and so they can learn about JUBE'S Smokehouse as well. And just want to thank everyone for their time today.
Yeah.
you,
Thank you all.
this is
Yeah, any
great.
final comments from anyone?
It's been great. Join us tomorrow.
You can you can shut down the thing, Lydia.
Oh, shut it down? Oh, all right. Well, thank you all. Join us tomorrow. It's going to be great. I'm shutting down the